Welcome, Rob Horwitz. Excited to have you here to share your reflections and predictions. Please introduce yourself, Rob.
I'm Rob Horwitz. I operate RH Capital Associates along with a number of nonprofits, the Ridley Horwitz Foundation, focused on foster care here in New York, and CETA Group, which is an impact investing entity, and we also have a accompanying donor foundation.
Great. And your alumni pedigrees?
I graduated from the University of Michigan with English literature degree and Harvard Business School and School of Hard Knocks.
Oh, yes. Most importantly. So looking back on 2020, how do you reflect?
It's obviously been a momentous year for everyone with COVID. The thing that has struck me most has been, unlike prior pandemics throughout history, which were great equalizers, this particular pandemic has been the great bifurcator. People in well-off have done well, have been able to prosper remotely, and those who need to work directly with people have suffered greatly.
And as you think of 2021, how do you see it unfolding?
I'm hopeful that with the vaccine, whose efficacy was surprising, I think, to everyone. I'm hopeful that we can get through this and next year, and that reach some degree of normalcy towards the second half of the year.
And I know that you mentioned foundation. So in terms of philanthropy, you have your own causes. Maybe you can just discuss one or some of them and what your goals are for them this year.
Sure. Our primary focus is in two areas: foster care here in New York and criminal justice. Both have been significantly impacted by COVID, as you can imagine. With foster youth who have all of which have experienced trauma in their lives through their family situations. It has been a very isolating time, and we've been trying to address that as best we can with tools and supports and technical advice for service providers. But it's a very challenging time. Similarly, in criminal justice, there have been some bright spots, but a lot of efforts have ground to a halt due to COVID.
And in terms of how our network, our ecosystem can help you, Rob, how can we help?
Well, I'm interested in partnering with people who are like-minded, who share similar goals and ethical considerations, and would be happy to connect with people who are similar. We've tried to really move forward with partnerships in both of the philanthropic areas. And from a business standpoint, we're focused primarily on software and healthcare spaces, particularly in the biotech space.
Great. And if there's one word to associate with 2021, what would that word be for you?
Well, I would say optimistic. I'm optimistic that there'll be opportunities for people to re-engage and to live safely in the future. What do you think? How much detail do you want me to get into there, Mark?
Well, maybe either how you might want to collaborate with others, or or sharing insights as to, you sort of hit some generic terms like service providers, and I mean that it's probably, you can maybe bring it more to life, or there'll be like, well, we have people from the, I don't know, you do take outside money.
We don't take, we're a private foundation. We don't take any outside money. It's our funding. Most of what we do is try to provide services and supports, but we're happy to connect people that who have interest in foster care and an interest in providing and helping in that area. We can certainly, there's a number of different ways to help. We're foster parents. Other people, you can become a foster parent, and work with young people, take in young people. You can also, provide some financial supports to various service providers that are, there's desperate need for financial resources, as you can imagine. And I can go into that. I mean, New York is probably the hardest hit of all the states, and there's going to be significant cutbacks in social services, which are going to be felt across the board, but particularly, the most vulnerable are going to feel it the hardest.
Good point. But you did talk about some success in bringing down the number of foster children in New York from, I want to say it was 60 to 16 or something directionally.
Yeah, that the number has been reduced over the years significantly. The challenge really is really trying to reduce it further, and there's no reason why it can't be reduced further.
And is, when you take on a foster child into your house, is that then therefore a reduction? That's one person that's removed, or what is that number?
No, that's taking, foster care is designed to be temporary, and a young person isn't removed from the system until they're either reunited with their parents or relatives, or adopted, or taken in a permanent family.
Okay, that's helpful for me. I think things like that would help shed lights for some people. And you're probably right. New York is hit across the board.
Yeah, the social service budget is really going to be hammered.
Yeah,
and so much of so many of the kids that are in the system are basically there because their parents have it's either poverty or some sort of addiction.
Yeah. Well,
and those could be intertwined, obviously.
Yeah.
And